Hello. Let us understand what is the kind of analytics which is possible in the space of defense. There are a lot of organizations which are doing a lot of surveillance using data. Obviously, we need data in the space of artificial intelligence, and we have a lot of surveillance towers, unmanned submarines, right? We have a lot of AI driven systems. You have unmanned aerial vehicles, etc., which are extensively being used, right? And the priority of any AI application is to identify enemy first and detect the enemy first, or the enemy related device, the drones or unmanned aerial vehicles or the submarines. If you can detect them first, you'll be able to dismantle that, you'll be able to counter them, right? Alongside that, there are a lot of forecasting models which are being built to forecast the consumption of munitions and equipment. Because if you look at Russia Ukraine war, Russia has fired 10 million shells in 1 year, and Ukraine almost lost 10,000 drones every month, right? That's a staggering number. That means you always have to ensure that you have sufficient arms and ammunitions, right, which are available. And so on and so forth. A lot of AI applications are being used, and a lot of money is being pumped in, right? For example, for to detect the enemy and to understand what amount of equipment, how many people are there in the hideout, etc., in the canopy or hidden in the jungle, you need to just drop a few IoT sensors, right? For example, you have microphones, right? Any slightest of the conversation happening between your enemy folks, you'll be able to detect that. Seismic detectors, which will detect the movement of the armed forces, movement of the trucks, etc., and then it will give you an indication on how many trucks actually are there hidden in the canopy, right? You also have olfactory sensors, which will also determine the amount of ammonia content in the urine, and that would help you understand how tired the soldiers are, right? So it's going to the next level altogether, right? And not just that, what kind of medicines you give to the armed forces, army soldiers, etc. And there are a lot of opioid therapies, insomnia medication which is given. How is it going to impact them? Is it even going to be effective? These kind of predictions are also happening as we speak now. And one more very scary thing is something called as IVG, in vitro gametogenesis. What does this mean? Using your skin, they will come up with eggs, which can then be used to come up with test tube babies. Right? The countries in which population is shrinking, they're extensively working on this. And there is a secret research which was done, which says that these test tube babies who will not have parents would then be eventually conditioned and groomed to only fight and give their life for the nation, right? So that's another very scary thing. And as I've told you, people are not just forecasting the amount of munitions and ammunitions which are needed in the war, but they are also doing anticipatory package shipping of different products. How many soldiers might get hurt, based on that, how many medicines would be required of a specific kind, so on and so forth. And you know we also need to look at the pricing aspects. For example, a lot of people spoke very high about something called as Iron Dome by Israel. To intercept one missile, it costs $40,000. So the neighboring nation, what they are doing is they are trying to come up with a lot of rockets, etc., which cost probably 1/100 the cost, which is incurred in terms of you know arresting those rockets coming into the city. For every interception, it's costing them $40,000. So we have to look at the cost. We have to look at also the ethical aspects. We have to look at the amount of data that we have. We have to look at the computing speed. And because real-time predictions is something which has to happen when it comes to defense, right? So these are a few developments in the space of defense. And hopefully we will see something extremely meaningful coming up in the future. Thank you.